Honestly, I swear to God, if I do this kit wrong, I'm gonna cry. Hey guys, it's model making time and we're back. Today we're gonna be talking about two things. Firstly, the model itself and also... I guess we should start with the second point actually. So that's the feeling you get when you buy a metal kit and you really want to do it, but because it's either a rare kit or it's really hard to get hold of, you don't do it because you want to wait until you've got the skills to do it properly, or you just don't think you're actually going to be competent enough to do it, or you're just so scared of not being able to get replacement parts that it just sits in your stash forever. I think everyone's done this and it's completely normal, but I'm really trying to get over. The kit we're choosing to do today is by Tazman Models. It is a rare kit. It's actually from New Zealand, the same place that the aircraft, the CT-4 that we're building today, is from. The aircraft was used as a display aircraft in the 1980s for the Red Checkers display team, which is the only New Zealand display team to have a sustained history other than one that flew vampires. I mean, that is quite a while ago. They previously flew T6 Texan aircraft, but that disbanded in the early 70s due to the oil crisis. They took on the CT-4B. This is an indigenous aircraft produced by the Pacific Aerospace Corporation, so it's an entirely New Zealand aircraft for the New Zealand display team. They used the aircraft from 1980 up until 2015, swapping the CT-4B for the CT-4E in 1998, upgrading to a newer model. The aircraft is still used in private hands, but unfortunately I'm never going to get to see it fly as part of this facility. Luckily there are some amazing YouTube videos of it. I'll put a few in the description below so you can watch them too. I've always found indigenous aircraft interesting. They fight against the struggles of massive corporations who have the power to spread their aircraft across the world and generally are only equipped by 1 or 2 air forces. In this instance it was used by the New Zealand Air Force, but it was also used by the Royal Australian Air Force as well. I genuinely think this aircraft is really cute and the colour scheme, it pops off. So let's go have a look at what's inside the box, and I'm terrified because it's a limited run kit and I've never built one of these before. How? Boom. I'm so excited to do this kit, like you no idea. Like, let's just turn it that way so you can see the aircraft, but look how adorable it is. Fixed undercarriage, the paint scheme. I'm just living for this. So let's have a look inside the box, see what we think. Genuine Royal New Zealand Air Force colour chips. What does that mean? Are we ready for this? I don't want to like ruin this. Oh god. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh my god, it looks so tiny. Okay, that looks like everything. Alright, so these must be the colour chips. So these are like apparently the actual colours they used. So that's what it's referencing. It's a vacuum form canopy. This is gonna go badly. Oh god. Oh god. And it's got metal parts. I really don't feel confident on this anymore. At all. I feel super nervous about this. Just to elaborate, in terms of quality, it doesn't feel bad. And I guess this should be a relatively quick kit to build in terms of the basics. It just looks kind of rough. I'm really scared of building this. So yeah, we mentioned there were like white metal parts. It looks like white metal landing gear, a seat, white metal props. There's 2 of them, one with and one without nose cone. Again, vacuum form canopy I'm really scared of. I'm just gonna have to really take my time with it and just go slow but steady. Decals look good. I might have to buy the colours. I don't know if I have all the colours that I actually need. Oh, I do say these are fancy instructions. Great care should be taken when cutting out the vacuum form canopy. It does look really nice. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just scared. I just realised that is the instruction. No. No, honey, come on. This is gonna be horrific. Then I'm not gonna let it stop me. We're gonna get this aircraft built. Probably not gonna paint it on the same stream. Oh, and if you didn't know, I stream all these builds live as Ms. Modeler on Twitch. Check me out. Also, if you can subscribe to me on YouTube, that would be swell. It really does help the channel and you'll be notified next time I go live. Hit the notification bell as well because I need to be a classic YouTuber. Either way, let's get into the build, let's see how it goes and see if I was right in the first place. Future me here. So we are getting straight into this model and let me tell you, these plastic parts were tough. Or plastic parts, we'll get into it, don't worry. But yeah, these were a lot tougher than I'm used to from, you know, a normal manufacturer, and I knew that would be the case with a cottage industry kit. I mean, it's just the reality of them. They are a lot tougher to use. But I didn't expect it to be as tough as it turned out to be. It was a lot harder than I thought. So it started by just cutting the main bits out, the bits I recognised. It wasn't really labelled like a traditional kit, and I found that quite hard because you had to work out like, okay, cool, this bit is this bit. There were no pictures in the instructions either. I think I've mentioned that. If I haven't, there were no pictures in the instructions. So I was just trying to work out which bit was which. Obviously, I've done the fuselage first, and I've just sort of been testing, did the wings fit, did this fit? Because there's no second chance in this. I can't just go and buy another kit and redo this. If I f this up, then that's it. Like, there's no going back on this. So, you know, we really needed to get this right. It was a lot of dry fitting, a lot of sanding, and to be honest, that is what a lot of this first stream was. It was, you know, sticking bits together and just making sure that they looked as good as they could look on their own. As you can see, I'm using super glue rather than sort of my regular glue that I would use, which is a poly cement, and that's because it didn't work. Poly cement just didn't seem to stick this kit together, and to me, it makes me pretty sus that this wasn't, you know, a non-resin kit, or that this plastic wasn't some sort of resin. It did feel very tough. It was also quite brittle. To me, that feels very resiny. I've only touched sort of a couple of resin kits in my life, and I only ever got one that was near completion, but this felt very much similar. Overall construction was sort of trial and error, but also I had less time to do trial and error because this is sort of the only version of this I can get, so I was trying to make sure everything fit, and then I just used a shed load of tape and a lot of super glue to put everything in place. You could sort of still maneuver bits, and again, it gave me that very resiny vibe, but you know, once things were in place, they were pretty solidly in place, and to be honest, I was impressed how well things fit. I did have to use some plasto, which is just a modelling putty, and that was just to fill, you know, the gaps in, which I was expecting. Again, this is a short run kit. It's not going to be to the standards that you'd expect from your Airfix, Hella, Revell, those sorts of kits. So I was sort of okay with that. I put some videos on to inspire me as I was going on, because this took me a hell of a lot longer than I was expecting. I thought this was going to be a really quick thing to put together because there's so few parts. I was wrong, but we got there. A lot of super glue and a lot of plaster later, and we were ready to just sand it all down. And then, well, it'll be on to the undercoating. It wasn't going that badly so far, was it? Well, it's day 2 and we've got some developments. I hope I'm in shot. I can't see my camera screen, but I've basically gone through and sanded all this down. I don't know how clear that'll be for you, but I basically just, you know, tried sand on areas that didn't look great. Now I've got to go repaint the white on it, so just, you know, give it another base coat, and then after that we're going to go yellow and see what happens. Let's go. Okay, so we did it, guys. I painted the whole plane yellow. I don't think it looks bad. I don't know how well you guys can see it from this camera angle, but it looks mostly fine. It looks a lot better than it did. I'm not sure it's the right color though. I did get like some Lufthansa yellow. I don't know, because it seems more mustardy yellow. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what it needs. We'll just see how we go. So we are on to the painting of this model, and wow, this was kind of scary. And I'll be honest, before we even get to the end, I lost some detail doing this. And again, I'm not angry at myself. I'm not at all, because this is the first time I've ever done this. So I taped it up, and I wanted to get these black lines done. These are really smart, swish black lines, and I wanted to make sure I got these right. So I was eyeballing it all, but I was trying to make sure all the black lines were to scale, and I was trying to use, you know, references on the actual model itself with the limited paneling detail that it had against the picture to work out where things were, and I think I did okay in the end. It doesn't look wrong, and if it doesn't look wrong, then hey, you must be doing something right, hey? So that's sort of the philosophy I went by for the whole of the painting of this model, and I just tried to take it bit by bit by bit. I didn't want to do anything all in one go and screw anything up, basically. more than I already had done so far. Now, the majority of this is going to be me sort of like just trying to see how things fit and tidy things up. There were bits of black that I need to paint over, and painting black over is not an easy thing. Of course, you can see I'm replicating the whole process underneath as well. And yeah, so the thing I've learned most of this model kit is yellow is the worst thing ever, and you should never paint any planes yellow, because how the hell are you meant to replicate that? It is easier with an airbrush, I've been told a million times. I don't have money for an airbrush. If you want to send me the money for one, I'll happily start using one. But for now, I'm stuck on hand painting, and I enjoy hand painting anyway. And yellow is very hard to do for that. Any black you got, it's just hard to paint over. I don't know if I caught it on this. I think I did it off stream, but there was a point where I literally just sanded a bit down and repainted it yellow. It is what it is. You know, again, this whole thing was about overcoming boundaries and securities, and I think I did achieve that, even if I didn't get probably the, you know, fanciest result. Now, what you're seeing is something that's come from sort of the crowding community, but I absolutely adore, and it's literally, it's a Revell UV resin pen, and my god, this thing was so good for gluing metal parts on. It's not the neatest. I probably would have done better with epoxy, but absolute godsend. It cost me, I think, £12 for the kit. I've used it on multiple things now. I've used it on some other things that aren't this model kit. If you can use it right and effectively, not the way I used it where I pulled, for sticking on metal parts, it's amazing. So we're on to the third day of this model, and I'm pretty happy with it, although I have accidentally ended up wearing the same colour. So there are a couple of things with this. I did just knock this off my desk like an absolute idiot, but everything held up. Now I've had to use like resin to get everything sort of stuck to it, and I chose that instead of epoxy, hoping it would give me a better finish. There was one really unfortunate thing that happened where I went to spray it with gloss, picked up what I thought was the gloss varnish, and it was the yellow primer. So I then had to repaint it all, and it lost even more detail than it had already lost. So that was unfortunate, wasn't it? It is what it is. I can't really do a lot to change it at this point. I'm still happy with how it looks. It still looks absolutely adorable. It still stands up by itself. So I'm calling it a win. I'm just going to decal it, gloss it, pop the canopy on, and boom, we're done. I don't want to let be the thing that stops me from completing this model. I mean, it actually looks pretty damn good in my opinion, so we're gonna get it done. Yeah. Right then, so there's not too much left to go on this kit. It's pretty much just decals, if I'm being really honest. There's not a lot left to it. There was one little detail that I did forget to do on this kit, and I mean, I had to go and do it, and it meant I had to paint on top of the gloss, which then caused even more of a pain, and you just saw it pop up there. There's some little black rectangles in the wings, and I was like, do I do them? Do I leave them? What do I do? I didn't realize they were there. They weren't on anything. So I decided, no, I'm just going to go for it. So I painted over with a base coat of yellow, and then I just tried to eyeball it. I didn't see any point in trying to do tape on all of them. I just thought, screw it, I'll use my new lice brushes and I'll just try and eyeball it. I think it ended up looking okay. To be perfectly honest, I don't think it looks fantastic. I definitely could have done a better job, but it doesn't look bad by any means, I guess. So that was it mostly. I had a lot of tidying up to do throughout all of this model, and you'll notice several times that I have to go in with a paintbrush and put bits on. But, you know, the decals were relatively straightforward. The roundels are empty. You put in the little kiwi bird then, which is adorable. Unfortunately, they don't look fantastic after varnishing. Again, I don't know if that's just the material these decals are made from, but they still look pretty damn good. And so overall, I'm really happy with the decals that are included. It's the reason I bought this kit. Now, there was the side bit as well, which is the actual checkers of thread checkers. And I actually used what was the original scheme, which is one long thin piece. Although it's not, I don't think that's how it originally was. But basically, it should be sort of more rows of checkers on there, but I decided just to leave it as it is, you know. I'm not going to try and break, like, you know, cut it up and make it look like how it should be. for the risk that I might not be able to get it looking anything like it should be. So I just made the decision to stick on what was already included in the kit, because I've done the newer scheme rather than the older scheme, because the older scheme is a, well, it's definitely more of its era. I just love this cute little yellow scheme. The decals all went on really well, I'll be honest with you. I was really, really pleasantly surprised, considering how much I battled with the overall kit itself. I was really happy with how easy it was to do the kit as a whole, the decals as a whole. They just went on effortlessly. I didn't have any struggles, which, I mean, you guys have watched this channel, right? I mean, you're this far into this video, you know that is, I'm very good at like getting them stuck on my hand or just being quite clumsy with decals, but I don't have any issues with these. I was really, really impressed. I put the numbers on the tail section as well. Originally, that's not something I realised that I needed to do, and it's letters from what I could see in the pictures, but I just went, again, with what I had in the box. I wasn't going to try and do anything crazy that might look potentially better, but also puts me at risk of just ruining the kit as a whole. It's all about getting past that mindset of being too scared to approach things. The gloves are out, and they're not always easy for me to put on, but I tried because I wanted to make sure I got no fingerprints on once I was putting the canopy on. And I found the canopy really tricky actually, and it doesn't sit perfectly flush, but I'm taking it all as a win for, you know, for the overall sake of the model. I did the best that I could. I should probably have used some filler, but you know what? I'm bloody proud of myself. Hey guys, so it's been a while, and that's purely because of work. I just got a bit caught up with work and I forgot to sort of take pictures and finish off this video, so here we are. So let's talk about in this video and what we learned from doing this model. This was a limited run kit. That meant it had way less in the way of instructions. In fact, it didn't even have any pictures for the instructions. It was just written word, which was terrifying. And to go alongside that, there was no numbering of any parts or anything. Some bits I had to work out what they were. The inside of the cockpit was just like an absolute minefield. To add to that, it's a vacuum full canopy, which I've never really done before. I've never actually finished a model which had a vacuum full canopy. I've started a few but never finished one, so this is the first time I actually really tried using the sewing scissors I had. Oh my god, like, I recommend anyone get them if they don't have them already. Everything I saw online recommended using a scalpel, but like, why? Why would you use a modelling knife at all? It's so much easier to cut it. Like, surely. It was terrifying. Mine doesn't fit the model exactly right, and part of that was just because I was too scared of screwing it up. I will probably learn in time how to stick it properly, but I sort of just accepted there was a little gap now, and that was okay, and maybe I'll fix it in the future. Overall, I'm really proud of this model. It's been an experience, and I'm less scared of short run kits now. Apparently this kit wasn't a resin kit. I still doubt this because I had to stick everything together with super glue. It could have just been a different type of plastic though, and I guess for a short run kit, who knows. But it's given me a lot more confidence towards resin kits, so I guess that's a good thing. Just so you're aware, if you're thinking of buying this kit, it tends to sell between £50 to £100. It's not the most expensive model for its size, but it's definitely getting there. That's all we really have to go through. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be informed of every time I release a new video, which tends to be Mondays at 7:30 PM UK time. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I do occasionally post that. I need to get more active on it, to be honest. And obviously follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/modeler. I just want to give a heads up that I have been really busy recently, so I've not been streaming as much. However, these videos will still be coming out every week, and I don't see that changing for the foreseeable future, at least unless I get really, really busy with work, in which case, then help. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this wild ride of conquering. I hope this inspires you to build that model you've always been putting off building. Let's have a look at what I managed to do. Bye! Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw here today to see more content as it comes. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/MissModeler to watch me play these games live and chat with me. See you later. Bye!